All right, welcome back to the best training channel on YouTube. So today's session is going to be showing you guys how I am going to approach my upper body sessions when the goal is to try to build my vertical jump. If you have a very specific goal like this, like I'm trying to add 6 inches to my vertical jump, it would be very easy to just neglect all upper body work and just focus on building strength and power in the lower body and just kind of letting the upper body take its place. I'm not a big believer that you should neglect any muscle group, let alone neglect just half of your body just in general because you have a specific goal. So I still want to do some upper body work, and I still want to do some training to maintain a little bit of strength and try to maintain a little bit of power when it comes to the upper extremities, to whether it's back, chest, however you want to break it down. So I thought today would be a fun way to kind of explain it. I've posted on Instagram on the things that I'm trying to focus on when it comes to building the vertical jump. One thing I think is going to be very beneficial is to try to drop a little bit of body weight. I'm already a very lean individual, so in order to drop body weight, some of that weight is going to have to be a little bit of muscle mass. Part of my approach, obviously, trying to eat a little bit in a calorie deficit to lose a little bit of weight, changing the stimulus for my upper body sessions to focus more on kind of just strength maintenance, staying away from a hypertrophy stimulus, which means well below like a 3 reps in reserve type range, and then just focusing on the speed of the movements versus the loadability of those movements, and also choosing movements that are much more difficult to progress in terms of load versus others. So first thing I'm going to be doing today is going to be a dumbbell bench press. This is a variation that is harder to load in terms of if I were going to do a barbell bench press, for the fact that dumbbells require more stability. Usually when you have a movement that requires more stability, the first thing that happens is it's harder to overload that in terms of the amount of weight that you're going to be able to load. The second thing I'm focusing on is I want to be focusing more on fast repetitions for today's movements versus just getting the reps done. That's another variable that's going to dictate how much load that you can put onto each of those movements. So when you're trying to move through things explosively, the heavier it gets, obviously the harder it's going to be to move explosively through that movement. So those two variables, using movements that require more stability and trying to move through quickly on all of the movements in terms of the repetitions, should dictate that I'm going to be lowering the amount of possible load I can do on these movements. Still get some strength work in, still get some upper body work in, because like I said, I don't believe that you should just totally neglect any part of your body when it comes to training for sports performance. So this is the variation that I chose. Dumbbell bench, I'm going to be doing 3 sets of 5, but I'm going to be doing 1 arm at a time. So 5 reps on the right side, 5 reps on the left, holding the dumbbells in an extended position. And then, like I said, we're going to focus on the speed of the movement. So we're going to go 5 reps on the right side, 5 reps on the left, and then we'll do 3 reps or 3 sets total on that. So a couple more sets of that, and then we're going to show you what the second part of today's session is going to look like. All right, second thing up for today is going to be 2 bodyweight movements. I'm going to go pull-ups into dips. Probably going to do 3 sets of each on these, somewhere between 8 to 12 reps. With these 2 movements, the order that you do them in should be whatever movement is going to be most difficult for you to hit those number of repetitions that you have set out for yourself. Do that first, and then try to mimic or beat that on the second movement. So for most people, pull-ups is gonna be a much more difficult movement to do a certain number of reps on than dips are. So you would start with pull-ups, hit that 8 to 12 rep range, and then if you can, let's say, only get 8 or 9, you wanna get at least 8 or 9 on the dips, but if you can get close to 12 on the dips, then knock out the reps of 12 on that. Even though this is a body weight movement, still gonna be focusing a little bit more on the speed of it. So they're not gonna be the most strict, beautiful pull-ups and dips that you've ever seen. It's more about getting the full range of motion through as quickly as possible and just trying to pump out the number of repetitions that you have set for yourself. So ,12 reps on the pull-ups. And now I've got 12 reps on the dips. And again, we're gonna do 3 sets of that today. So one thing you should also probably notice is that this session is going to be an extremely short session. I only have 3 parts that I wanna do: bench press, body weight, and then some accessory for the arms and shoulders. The total session here is probably gonna take me about 30, at most 45 minutes because I'm talking to the camera. But the rest in between, I would say, is like that 2 to 3 minute range, enough to where you can do the next set explosively, not so quick where it turns into like a conditioning session. Allow yourself to recover a little bit and make sure that you're hitting the intended stimulus for the day. And with that, you'll notice that the overall volume is going to be much lower, which is another variable in terms of allowing myself to get the stimulus that I want, which is really just kind of hitting the upper body a little bit. I'm not looking for specific adaptations, so I'm not trying to gain strength right now. I'm not trying to gain muscle or anything like that. I just want to do a little bit to get into the gym and still work out and still hit some muscle groups and not neglect anything. In terms of the upper body sessions that I'm doing throughout the week right now versus what I was doing previously, the amount of volume has gone down considerably. I would say I'm probably doing like 70% of the volume that I was doing previously in terms of like total number of sets and repetitions on everything that I'm doing throughout the course of a week. So a couple minute rest, and then we're gonna knock out 2 more sets on that. All right, so last thing I'm gonna do today, because why the hell not, is a little bit of biceps and some rear delt. I'm choosing to do biceps and rear delt just to get a little bit more accessory work in. Nothing too crazy. I'm gonna use like 15 pounds on the biceps and then probably 10 on the reverse flies. The bicep variation that I'm choosing to do is a hammer curl, alternating arms, so it's going to end up being 30 total repetitions, but I'm looking at trying to just do this as quickly as possible and try to get the reps done in a relatively clean manner. So there's going to be a little bit of rotation that I'm going to be fighting because I'm going to be having these weights going back and forth, which is fine, but you just don't want it to be extremely sloppy and ugly when you do this. But what I'm looking for is I'm going to try to just bring the head of the dumbbell up towards the shoulder, and at the same time that I'm bringing this arm down, I'm going to be bringing this arm up, which is going to create a little bit of that torque and torsion through the upper body that I got to kind of fight against as I do this. So 15 reps each arm, 10 kilos, or excuse me, 5 kilos on the reverse flies. I'm gonna do 15 reps on this again. And on this, just because me personally, I feel like it doesn't take a lot to get a good stimulus throughout the biceps and the shoulders. 1 to 2 sets on this is all you really need. So if you feel like you want to do more, 2 sets is going to be the maximum. 1 set though is plenty to just get a little bit extra work in, not neglect any specific part of your body. Plus it's just fun to do some arms and shoulders every once in a while, even if we're trying to jump high and run fast. But before I end today's video, I still want to remind you guys, I have the 5,000 subscriber goal. Once that goal is hit, I'm going to be releasing the sprint program for free. It's only a sprint program. There's no weightlifting in it. 5 days a week of track work that you can do in order to get yourself faster. I have released the program for $1 because I had a number of people wanting to get the program early. Some people who have already been subscribed to this channel for years. So I thought, what the hell, let me release it for $1. I'm not making any money off of those dollars. I'm basically just paying service fees every time you guys buy one of those. But if you want to go get it early and you are subscribed already, you guys can head over to my Fitter page. I think the link's in the bio. You guys can go download the program. You get the full program right off the bat, so you don't have to sign up for anything and like follow day by day. It's a PDF. You can download it, get the whole thing there. We're less than 120 subscribers away from 5,000. I have some things coming up. At 7,500, I've got another giveaway that's probably gonna end up being about $1,000 worth of stuff that I'm gonna be giving away at 7,500. I've got another giveaway lined up for when we hit 10,000. This is just, so this 5,000 mark is just the first step. So if you are here and you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe because there's gonna be more coming along the way as the channel continues to grow. I'm gonna go ahead and knock out another set on this. Got the 7.5 kilos for the curls. All right, so there you have it. So like I said, 5,000 subscribers, first thing, program becomes free, 7,500. I'll be announcing that after we hit the 5,000. And I also have some things coming up next month that are gonna be a little bit different than what you guys have seen before. I've got a trip planned to the States. As we get closer to that, I'll start letting you guys in on some things that I've got planned, the reasons why I'm going to the States, and some things that I'm gonna be doing there. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.